Hi, Francesca. How are you?
Hi, Will. It's nice to meet you.
You too. Congrats on running on empty. I thought it was
Thank
great.
you so much.
Yeah, I loved your performance as Nicole, and I was curious, could you, maybe talk about your approach to playing Nicole? She has plenty of fun moments opposite Mort and all that.
Definitely. I think that Nicole's definitely the yin to Mort's yang. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I think that, they're so opposite, and it felt like that on set, obviously, like so opposite. But then I don't know, watching it, I was kind of like, well, they're both kind of weirdos. Or they're both, not to kink shame anyone, but you know what I mean? They're both very, they're both oddballs, and I think that that's, why they were together. And Nicole's not the most compassionate of women, but she's not the ideal girlfriend.
Yeah, and yeah, it
That way.
definitely shows. I mean, it's a very quirky, unique story, and yeah, so it was a lot of fun. So it really showed.
Oh, thank you. Good.
And when you were reading the script, I mean, it's kind of a morbid premise, of course, given
Hmm.
what the plot kind of revolves around. And when you were reading it at first, maybe did you hesitate at first, or was it the
No,
opposite?
I think that's what I liked most about it. I gravitate towards, I like those type of kind of philosophical questions, and I like to think about life, and I like to think about death and our purposes and what we have to do with our time left. And I think about that stuff every night. So I absolutely loved that. Nicole is so unconcerned about that in the way that I am, that I thought that it would be a lot of fun to kind of play, someone that just has their own agenda, and that maybe just the lack of care, just the shamelessness that she has. I thought that's what kind of drew me to the role.
Yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, I mean, I like that kind of stuff too. I mean, I I feel like it's sure maybe that kind of, when's my death date test might not exist, but I think it's a relatable idea. And people are going to watch this and be, you know,
Hmm.
so I think
Yeah.
it's
I mean, I just thought about it today, and I was like, maybe with AI, like this might not be too far off, I think I'm always thinking like, all right, like what, about that stuff. And so I think that the lightheartedness, despite despite that darkness, was something that was very unique about this project, at least for me. I'm not usually in like lighthearted stuff. Um, so yeah, that was different and exciting for me.
yeah, of course. What was it like working with Keir Gilchrist? I mean, I
I mean, he's fantastic. He's great. He's a real pro. He's been doing it forever. And sometimes you really want to get to know people before you start working with them, and you have the luxury of time or talking about characters or anything. And we just really didn't have to do any of that. We just kind of went right into it, and it just felt really easy. And I
well,
hope,
that's
I
great.
think, I felt like it worked.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, you guys are
Yeah.
great together. So
Yeah.
despite the, characters butting heads at times, I mean, it's
I
it's a good.
mean, I mean, they're horrible together, but I did feel like we were as actors decent together.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's great. I also wanted to ask if, a lot of people, myself included, are excited for your upcoming movie, Juror Number 2. And I was curious if there's anything you could share about that and anything you'd like to share about your character. I would love to hear more.
I definitely cannot share anything about my character, but I can share with you that I am beside myself with excitement to be in that movie. And I'm really, really, really proud of my dad, and I'm really, really proud of myself. And that entire cast is really incredible. And it's a special project, and I'm really excited for everyone to see that.
Of course. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe it'll be his final film, or do you think he's just gonna never stop?
It's really hard for me as his daughter to even think about that question because, a lot of people on set, are like, oh, it's, it's his final film. We had to be here. Like a lot of the newbies, not the usual
Right.
crew and stuff. And I have to admit, it was, it's hard for me to think like that because
Of course.
just hard for me to think like that. I don't like to think like that, but it is, I will say it's a solid flick. It's a solid movie. There's great performances in it. And I'm a lucky son of a gun to be in it.
Yeah. I also wanted to, I'm such a fan of the show Fargo, and you're in that.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I mean, going back
Me
to the movie, of course, but then the series,
too.
I've seen the whole thing, including, the episode that you and your mom were in. I mean, that was
Mhm.
must have been such a unique experience. Is there anything you'd like to share about that? I mean, I know it was years ago at this point, but
It was years ago. That was, I mean, it's something I'm really, really proud of. It was one of those things that I auditioned for. I totally didn't think I was gonna get it. I felt very lucky to have the part. I was very nervous. I was so painfully nervous. Like now looking back, I'm like, gosh, like just be a little more confident. But I was in my early 20s or mid 20s, so it was different. But the greatest part about that was that, my mom played the older me. And when we watched it back, my mom goes, oh my gosh, we did all the same mannerisms and all the stuff without even talking about it. So that was kind of cool. She noticed that stuff because we're very, I mean, we're mother and daughter. So it's kind of like perfect.
yeah, yeah, it was great. I mean, that was such a well received. I mean, it was one of my favorite episodes. I mean,
Well, it's cool because I mean, we shot most of the stuff that was in LA in Calgary,
oh,
where they shot the rest of it. So it was bizarre because, you're coming out of hair and makeup in your 70s LA outfit and you're
yeah,
in the snow. But so some of it we shot in LA, but it was just a very unique experience. And then once I was done shooting, I got to go see my mom on set shooting it. And it was just very cool. And I'm such a fan of the movie, such a fan of the show that's one of those things where sometimes if I'm feeling down, I'm like, I was on a good episode of that.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that was people
Yeah.
are still going to be talking about that episode for years, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one. So well done.
Thank you.
I mean, besides, of course, juror number two, it looks like you're keeping busy with other projects as well. Is there another you'd like to share about that you're working on or something you're
Um,
really thrilled about?
I'm lucky that it's been a busy year for me. Clawfoot just came out, which is streaming right now. That kind of kick-started me getting back to work since having my beautiful son. And
Congrats on that.
thank you so much. And then I have Queen of the Ring coming out, which is about Mildred Burke and the first female wrestlers. That'll come out sometime in the next couple months or, before next year, I think, and then Juror 2 and something I can't talk about, but staying busy,
Yeah.
staying busy.
Is your dad enjoying being a granddad to your son?
Absolutely. He's the best granddad. I mean,
Yeah.
he really is the best dad in the world. And I hope he knows like how much of an amazing father he is. And especially, I think it's normal that, with grandparents and grandchildren, it's, my son's a little more spoiled than I was. I was raised very strict, but he's a wonderful granddad and it's beautiful to see that relationship blossom.
Yeah, that's great. I have a 15-month-old daughter, so
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
thank you. Yeah. So technically she's a
Congratulations.
toddler, but still feels like
Yeah.
a newborn. So,
Yeah. Well, that father-daughter bond, I mean, it's
yeah.
very special.
Yes. Well, congratulations to you. And yeah, and congrats on running on empty. Like I said, your
Thank you.
performance is wonderful, and I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see these upcoming projects of yours.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, and let's do it on
Thank
the next one.
you. Yeah, definitely.